Hey Cobra Kai Nation, welcome back to a new video. This will be part 2 of the trailer breakdown that I did originally, as I found more details rewatching the trailer a lot more times. So with no further ado, let's get into it. So when Johnny approaches Hawk in this scene at the school, this is the exact moment that he is probably going to the meeting with all the other parents, and Hawk says that because he got soft, they paid the price. But Johnny clearly puts him in his place there with whatever he says to him, because Hawk looks quite shocked. He doesn't wear a hoodie like he did in the last shot, but he is probably wearing a similar coat or jacket, but this is leather, so it could be slightly different. It could signify that it's another time and location, although it most likely is the school about the meeting. Tori is counting money here, and I'd said this in the last breakdown, that it's most likely because she is low on money for her rent. And the new actor, Grayson Berry, who plays a new landlord called Rodney in episode 1 or 2, he says that he has an altercation with Tori and John Kreese is there. So that's interesting why he would be there with Kreese. So this must be because Tori has lack of money for the rent. Hence why there's an altercation. But check out that video so you understand all the details. So Dimitri and Hawk see each other once again. And this location is very familiar. Although it is very different in lighting, it's the exact location that Dimitri and Hawk fought in the season 2 finale, where Dimitri spins Hawk and he kicks him into the cabinet, and you can clearly see that it is the same cabinet in the same location. So these guys reunite pretty much at the front of the school. So Daniel reconciles with Johnny and offers that they should team up and work together. Which now makes sense as to why Daniel said, "What do you think would happen?" Because he was talking about the fact that their rivalry spiraled out and created so many crazy events that affected their students in season 2 finale. Just like Robbie is one of the victims of this, and he even gets arrested here. But this location does look familiar. We can see that this is clearly Daniel, and if you look at his clothing, that definitely is Daniel. And Robbie has had a haircut, and he's got this jumper that's very scruffy, so he could have been sleeping outside, or he could have even stolen some more clothing in order to disguise himself, and he probably got a haircut by himself and tried to disguise himself from the officers that were after him. Kreese unveils a snake to the class, which is really petrifying at first, and I know it's not a cobra. Kreese said this interesting detail in season 2 to Johnny about how snakes live, and it's not hibernation.
Cold-blooded like snakes. It's brumation.
It's almost like Kreese was actually hinting at a snake coming to the dojo, and he even introduced this to the class, which could have been the snake that bit Johnny on his hand here, because you can see it's definitely got some injuries to his knuckles. However, it could have been a snake bite, which is the position here where he got bit by the snake, which is interesting. And those marks on his forearm and wrist do look like it could have been a struggle with the snake, and that is a last-ditch effort by Kreese as Johnny's getting the upper hand against him. And in the corner of the room, we know the snake is there, as we saw in the season 3 trailer. So maybe Kreese actually throws Johnny into the snake, which is why he gets those injuries as we saw when he visits Miguel. And maybe Kreese does this as in a last-ditch effort to beat Johnny, because we know that Johnny actually nearly subdued him in season 2 episode 1. But of course, Johnny showed mercy, hence why Kreese won that battle. But he would have lost if it wasn't for that. What also makes me curious is the situation with the landlord, because we don't actually know this deal that he had with Armand. So is if Kreese is actually working with Armand, or even that he's betrayed Armand with this handshake deal, because the actor himself said that he gets roughed up because of not paying the rent. It's possible that Armand may have sent his henchmen to Johnny and Daniel when he tries to subdue them, although this could be Rick Perez's new character Roger, who is rumored to play Miguel's father, and we know Carmen said he was a very, very bad man, and this could be what he's doing. Carmen said he was a very, very bad man, so if he has a gang and henchmen, I would not be surprised, and that does sound like the case. Kyler is officially back. Although we don't know what his exact role is going to be in season 3, he must have some sort of significance to do with Hawk's character, because we know that is one way Hawk may progress as a student in Cobra Kai, and Hawk literally looks like he might be beating the hell out of Kyler here for the times that Kyler picked on him in season 1. And you know, Eli has a lot of trauma, and he definitely wants to get rid of that and show Kyler who he really is now. And that little tat he had of Moon's name is literally now a Grim Reaper. So I really do think that Kyler is going to get his comeuppance by Hawk, because it's been waiting a long time, and even Kyler looks quite concerned when he looks at Hawk, because he looks very familiar to him, although he looks a bit different than before. Well, another awesome detail with Johnny and Daniel is when they literally fight all 4 of these guys in the mechanic shop, and Johnny sweeps the leg and Daniel goes for the head. So it's really cool homage to Karate Kid 1. But the way they team up is going to be epic. And we can't wait to see what happens with that fight. When Sam is attacked by this person, we don't know exactly who she's flipping. But it's likely someone with Tori. And this person behind Tori looks very familiar. Like he almost looks like he's Miguel. And Sam is fighting someone possibly that's familiar to us. And yes, I know that's a bow staff. I know I screwed up. I said stick, but I always was trying to say a bow staff, but I just had a brain fart. But anyway, it doesn't really matter now because you know exactly what I was trying to say now. And I think this specific scene is important because this is probably after Amanda says no more karate, and it looks like everything's coming back together, and she probably realizes how important it is.
No more karate.
And we even see Amanda do something very interesting and funny at the same time to Kreese. And she seems like she's had enough, and she even gets some of her comeuppance on Kreese. Bang! Look at that. And I think this is because of what happened to Sam, and Kreese was the reason for that. And this is why Sam is crying here. And I said this in another video. It's the same clothing. It makes sense that she goes to Kreese after. But this shot, it looks like that it's either before Sam sees Tori again, or this is after what happened, and Tori's sort of like, you're lucky now, you're on your own, I've got you. It's interesting because she might even attack Sam again. Some believe that she's even joining Miyagi though because she can't afford Cobra Kai anymore, which is actually insane, but if that happened, that would be crazy. This shot of Miguel is definitely Miguel. People who have been saying this is not Miguel, listen, you need to get some glasses because that is Miguel. It's not a new character, that's Miguel Diaz. Now, when we see Robbie in the SJDC and we see the one and only John Kreese approach Robbie, we know that he's after trouble. He even said to Johnny that it was never good to see him learning all that karate from Daniel LaRusso. And Kreese has always wanted Robbie at Cobra Kai. He's made this clear on a few occasions, and we know that he wants him now.
Training your son like his own.
Thanks for your concern.
And this is awesome. This scene is just such a homage to the 80s style of Rocky, and I love it. It's quite interesting though why Miguel looks so concerned here. It's probably just because of how difficult it's been to recover. Although it could be something else that he said to Johnny with regards to his injury, and maybe that it's permanent, but we're hoping it's not permanent. Kamiko is back, but we don't know her exact role in season 3. There's a few rumors and theories going around that Kamiko is going to be married to Chosen, but again, we don't know that for sure. And I'm not sure entirely on Okinawan culture with weddings and if they require rings, but I know in China they don't, but of course this is Japan. But I'm sure we'll find out. Daniel LaRusso and Chosen are fighting here just for good old times, and Chosen wants to test him out. But when he uses a sai and stabs it in the ground, he says this very interesting quote.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Could be implying that Daniel has not known all the details that Miyagi taught him, and that Chosen actually knows a lot more than even Daniel learned from Miyagi. Yes, I knew that was Dee Snider, and a lot of people were like, why didn't you react to that? But I honestly, so much was going on at the time. It is awesome to see Dee Snider, but one thing that really caught my eye is Miguel was drinking with Johnny, and I don't know if he's underage, but I'm pretty sure he is. And finally, we see Johnny in what seems to be the country club in Encino Hills. Some people think this is Ali. It's possible, but it's very unlikely because, come on, Ali wouldn't be behind Johnny like that because Johnny would know if she's there, and Johnny looks like he's waiting specifically, or he's seen Ali right in front of him and it's just really caught his eye and he's in disbelief that Ali's there, and this is probably Johnny's reaction. I do think that Ali is going to appear in this scene, and Johnny is literally wearing a white blazer and he's all suited up, so they can only mean one thing, that he's gonna see Ali once again. So guys, thank you for watching part 2 of the trailer breakdown. I really tried to find more details, and I'm sure by the time we see some more releases, maybe with images and whatnot, we'll be bound to know more information. But of course, it's not long till season 3, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and strike that like button. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on CKN.